Hey my friends, this is a late Boy Scout with my review of the Aegis Armory Guardian Trigger Guard. A Kydex trigger guard for your handgun, for concealed carry, for throwing in a backpack, for keeping in a car safe, for pretty much whatever. Whatever you want to use a trigger guard like this for, you've got it. And for not very expensive, if you go to aegisarmory.us, you'll get the price on it, the current price on it, the options for colors, all the different handguns you can choose to have it made for. Yeah, pretty affordable, pretty cool. And we're going to talk about sort of why you might be interested in an option like this for your Glock, for whatever gun, and also do a little demonstration on the range showing you how this is used. So let's talk about the Kydex first. We got a little bit of a textured kind of a thing going on here. You can see the texturing in there. It's almost a kind of a, I don't know, a palm print or fingerprint kind of texturing. Pretty cool, pretty nice. I like that. Not too slick, you know, not slick on this side anyway. But then on the inside, it is fairly slick, and I think that's just right. That's good for it to be slick on the inside because that makes the gun pull out of it that much faster. And what is the gun here? It's the Glock 23. And you can see that I have ClipDraw on it. You'll see why when I get to the range evaluation, or the range demonstration, I should say. So how this goes on here is very simple. That was unloaded, by the way. How this goes on, again, real simple. You just kind of push it on like so. And there it is. And you've got, like you can plainly see there, a little rivet going through and a little bit of paracord tied onto it. This is maybe, I think 10 inches, 10 to 12 inches of paracord. That is to say, from there to there is 10 to 12 inches. Doubled up, it's probably, I don't know, 2 feet or so. I hollowed it out to make it a little thinner and easier to carry. And the way I use this is pretty simple, and you'll see that demonstrated on the range. You just loop this thing through your belt. And once you've done that, it's connected, it's hanging onto your belt pretty well. And then you just tuck this into your waistband. And I think this Guardian trigger guard is the perfect companion for something like ClipDraw. And that's, I told you I'd talk about that, and now I am. ClipDraw is something I've used a number of times on a couple of guns. And, you know, kind of was wishy-washy about it, not really sure if I liked it. It sure does slim down the profile of your Glock, not having any sort of bulky holster or anything like that. Helps you slide it into your waistband very easily. But the safety factor wasn't really there, and I felt like, you know, I couldn't really have one chambered because the trigger guard wasn't covered. This thing makes that possible. It makes it possible for you to have a compact Glock, which is full size by many people's standards, a compact Glock in your waistband with one chambered, with no real holster going on, and you can do that safely because, again, the trigger guard is covered. So that is awesome. I love the pairing of these two devices, ClipDraw with the Guardian Kydex trigger guard from Aegis Armory. So you can see that in action. It draws pretty easily. It pops off right about when I need it to. You do have to give it kind of a forceful tug and just kind of push through your draw because it will resist. It's designed to do that. It doesn't want to fall off easily or quickly. But you give it a forceful tug and a forceful push out, it'll hang onto your belt and it'll pop right off your gun, and you know, you'll get through your presentation and get your shots on target without any problem. So in practice and in carry, this trigger guard works very, very well. It does everything I hoped it would do. And man, I tell you what, if you want to slim down the carriage of your Glock or whatever handgun you've got, make it as slim a package as you possibly can, I don't think you can do any better than with a trigger guard like this. It makes it possible for you to, like I said at the outset, to have that gun, you know, stashed in a safe, in a backpack, in whatever it might be, without having the bulk of a holster to also deal with. It's just a matter of clipping that trigger guard on, like so, and then when you're ready to use it, get a hold of the string. If it's not tied onto your belt, then you just yank it out of the backpack or wherever else it might be. Get that trigger guard off of there with a solid yank, and that gun is in action, ready to go. And again, you can do all that, one in the chamber, so your gun is hot and loaded and ready. The Aegis Armory Guardian Trigger Guard is something I think you ought to check out. It's priced very well. Go to aegisarmory.us to check it out. My friends at Aegis Armory sent me this one for evaluation, and even if they hadn't, I full well would recommend it to you. It absolutely works exactly like it should. One last word, the ergonomics on it are perfect. You can see that I get a perfect combat grip on it with no interference from the trigger guard. And presentation, again, no interference from the trigger guard, doesn't affect my grip, and I'm ready to go. Awesome. You ought to buy one. I'm the Late Boy Scout. See you later.